Hello and welcome to the Heresy Lodge. I am your host, Dylan Cooper, the Conscoast over here.
Gavin Franklin.
And guys, we are here this week to preview Scars by Chris Wraight. And also, I just remembered something too. I don't think we did our rankings last week for Unremembered Empire.
Oh, like how good we thought the book was?
Yeah.
Where was that? Okay, well, I know Importance to Heresy, it is absolutely a 10.
Yep, agreed.
It is like kind of the middle of the Heresy, like the mid peak, I would say, before the Siege. Personal enjoyment was pretty good. Like I thought it was like a 7. 6
Yeah,
or 7.
I have it at, I think an 8. I have it like tied with Prospero Burns. I think it
That
was
makes sense.
very much like that. I mean, both Dan Abnett books, both very good, but honestly, like it wasn't like groundbreaking. It was just good.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway, back to previewing Scars. As always, guys, we released our battle report this week or last week. Now that you're listening to this, check it out. It is Tau 9th edition versus the Grey Knights. It was fun. It's our first one. We can only get better if you tell us how to get better, what you want to see more of, different angles, whatever. We don't know if you don't tell us, so please let us know. You can do
Closer
that.
crotch shots if you want.
I did say we will strip for money. But in order to tell us those things, you can do that by emailing us at theheresylodge@gmail.com. Join the Discord. The Discord's a lot of fun. We shoot the shit. We have hobby meetups. If you listen to this earlier enough, we were actually having one the Saturday that this airs, late about, I think it's at like 2-ish o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Join the Discord. Let someone know. They'll send you the invite. It's a lot of fun. We have tips enabled on Twitter as well. If you feel like contributing to the podcast, please do.
That is at the Heresy Lodge.
Yep, at Heresy Lodge.
At the Heresy Lodge, right?
Yes, it is. No, not on Twitter. It's just at Heresy Lodge. We couldn't get the the.
There we go. At Heresy Lodge.
Yep.
And email theheresylodge@gmail.com.
Yep. Sweet. And then if you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, leave us comments, as always.
So what are you drinking today, sir? Last week you had a riveting amount of various hard liquors.
Yes, this time I am drinking half of a beer because I fucking spilt it all over my fucking keyboard. This is a Warsteiner.
German Warsteiner. Ah, man, I love German beer. German beer, it's definitely the pinnacle. They figured that stuff out.
Well, they're like, we really fucked up during World War II. We better make some good beer.
They had to figure something out. There's a beer for Germany was really a PR crisis.
Like, look, the only way we're gonna have people to like us again is if we make really good beer.
Yep, and it worked,
Yeah.
Yeah. I am also. I'm not drinking a German beer. I'm drinking a Canadian beer. It is called. It's probably like the cheapest Canadian beer in Canada, but it is called Malsan Golden Premium Beer. I actually don't know if it's Canadian beer. I am assuming because there's a giant maple leaf on the front of it. So let me see. Yeah, Canada. Yep, it looks like a Coors beer. Under the supervision of Molson Coors Canada, Toronto. I like it. I really like golden beers. I think they're very like Western beers, very American beers.
Drinkable.
But yeah, drinkable. Like I think this is like the standard. I mean, it's like Bud Light, but when it's crafted, I think it's just better, in my opinion.
Yeah, fair. Anything else before we jump into this?
I don't think so. I guess I can talk a little bit about the tournament I went to.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, went to a tournament over the last weekend and won a tournament. It was the first tournament I won. It was a lot of fun. Ooh. It was in Dayton, Ohio. That was just a RTT. There was about 10 people, 3 rounds. I got to tell you, what was crazy about this RTT was the people that I faced, particularly, I just happened to be paired up with some crazy good lists. We had the new Tyranid Crusher Swarm list, which is very strange because these rules came out of the White Dwarf.
Yeah, I found that so weird.
Yep. So
And
now
fucked
you have
up.
to have a magazine to to have the rules to this insanely overpowered Tyranids list, by the way. Um, Everything has a 5-up invuln, and once it charges you, if their strength is higher than your toughness, they get to roll like 9d6 and any 4-ups. You take mortal wounds. Absolute character killer. If they charge a character, like your character just dies.
That's pretty nuts.
Yeah, so and that's on the Dimacarons or whatever. Dimacaridons.
You
But
could say any name, and I wouldn't know.
the Drumalumalunes.
Yeah, Dromolomata.
Yeah, but was able to come out with a victory on that one mainly because I went first and had the new Tau. And damn.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I had 2 hammerheads. His Dimacaridons died at turn 1. And he was not very happy with that. So that was fun. Then I had a perfect game against the Black Templars. That was a pretty good list. But just my list just demolishes Space Marines right now. There's just not a lot they can do. But I will say Blade Guard Vets still OP, still OP. And then the last, of course, the top table as of all top tables right now was Tau versus Custodes.
Yeah, every tournament list I've seen, like this past week, it was just Tau Custodes. People were really upset about it.
Custodes are nasty. No, Tau are nasty, but give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt because they're brand new. Like this
Yeah.
is kind of the first tournament wave they've been in, but I think they're very nasty. But geez, the Custodes lists that I saw. I mean, the bikes that he had the Forge World Terminators. Yeah, it was pretty deadly stuff. Um, I won that one off of basically time technicality. We ran out. We played for like 3 hours and only made it through 3 rounds.
Jeez.
And at the time, I was 20 points ahead, so I won.
Darn.
Yeah, so I won $40.
Hey man, what a win.
Yeah, I bought some more Thousand Suns with it. So now what's great is once I paint my Thousand Suns, which I have been doing, it is a work in progress. I'm not going to say it's almost done, but it's getting there. Once I paint what I have, I'll only have 3 models that I'm missing. So just got to get those, and then I'll be ready for that competitive list as well.
Okay, so just a sec. All right. You ready?
I am very ready.
All right.
Disclaimer for the scars, though. I'm only 150 pages in.
And I have 300 pages in. I about 80% of the way through the book. I am really enjoying this. I find the White Scars very interesting. Depending on how this book ends, they may become my favorite Legion.
Really?
Really. The thing I really liked about the White Scars, not only do they just ride motorcycles all the time, that's just fucking cool. Can you imagine a giant fucking like 500-pound soldier just driving a fucking motorcycle right at your face? That sounds fucking terrifying.
A big ass motorcycle too.
Big
Because
ass motorcycle.
you can't
Probably with
imagine
belts.
you can't imagine a 500-pound without the armor super soldier on
On a
like a
moped.
regular like a Harley. That Harley would not be operating appropriately. No, they're huge. They're huge motorcycles, and they're really cool on the tabletop. I love like whenever I face White Scars or see White Scars army, it's just like 20 bikes. And White Scars right now they can advance and charge, so it's just like watch this, and then the White Scars appear in your front lines and then charge you, and it's just devastating. But it's really cool.
Yeah, the
It's
best
super
thing is like
awesome.
that's just like their lore too, which I'm glad Games Workshop is like really incorporates that into them because
Yeah.
that'd be really stupid if they didn't. But I like that. I really like how they handle their psychers. They do it a lot like how the Space Wolves do it, where
Mhm.
they have rules, and they talk about this in the book as well, where the White Scars, like the issue that they had with 1,000 Suns is that 1,000 Suns like, oh, we can just do whatever, like we have to go further and further and
We're
learn more. And he's like,
better than
no, we should not do that because that's how you get fucked up. So they're really cool. The main
what's
character.
better. What's better about how they handle the psychers? They don't just have rules; but they're also not cocky assholes who think that their people aren't psychers.
Yeah. Also, they treat their psychers as like a super high class. Like they're almost like all like first captain level. Like they're all like treated like gods almost, which I find very interesting. I don't know, they're just really fucking cool. It's been between them, the Night Lords, because I just fucking love Savitar so fucking much. I mean, he carries the whole Legion.
He's a carry. I don't
And
even like Comrade Curse. I just like Savitar.
yeah, exactly. And I also kind of just like the World Eaters just because they're fucking nuts.
That's a lie. I know you're a big fan of the first. You Dark Angels wannabe.
Oh man, I love me some Lion. He's just the greatest Primarch, let me tell you.
Yeah, I think, of course, my favorite Legion is the Salamanders. R.I.P.
All three
many,
of
many times. But yeah, the scars are really cool. I think after this book, I'm going to enjoy them. So, would you say right now, if you were to create a loyalist army, would you choose White Scars?
Probably. I think like Black Templars are cool. I just like the aesthetic. I like that Sigismund is the founder of them. I don't know about some of the other just like successor chapters. Don't know much about them yet. But if it was just like of like the original 18, probably Scars.
Over World Eaters?
Well, you said
Loyal
loyalists.
Legions. Well, you said then you said original 18. I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I am definitely gonna do a World Eaters army whenever they finally release to the tabletop, just because new models, and I really want something chaos.
Be sick as shit for sure. Okay.
And I'm hoping they just fucking do like stupid shit. Like I want
Yeah.
them like when they charge
So
like
broken.
35 extra attacks. And if they fail a charge, they get a reroll and they roll 5 dice. Keep the highest 3.
Keep the highest 3. They can charge you from like 25 inches away.
I'm coming.
Oh man, that would be very funny.
Maybe have an AWOL mechanic.
So the scars. What are some prequel stuff that we've seen so far in the books that we would need to know before heading into this book, Scars?
So which sucks. We haven't seen much of the Scars. We've seen one Scar who is, man, I'm gonna butcher his name. Yasugi?
Yeah.
Sure, we'll say that's how it is. Yasugi, he is the like top librarian of the Scars. He's probably what you'd call an equerry.
Mhm.
To the White Scars, he is the Khan's right-hand man. Bad motherfucker. Broken. He said the only person as strong as him as a Psyker is Ahriman. So I find that incredibly interesting. Although I don't think people know about Sevatar being a Psyker. So maybe he's not that strong. I don't know.
Still know his abilities, yeah.
Yeah.
Then
Yep, good.
I think what's important about him is we've seen him before.
Yes, so if you all remember, back in the Thousand Suns book, in the Council of Nicaea, when a group of librarians come down, it's the White Scar that talks, and that is Yasugi.
Yeah, he advocates for the librarians. Librarius?
Yeah, librarius.
Yeah. And we see kind of where he has his own story in this book, at least in the beginning, where I'm at so far.
Yeah, he still does. He's basically the main character.
Yeah, so he has his complete own story separate from Jagatai. And their relationship is really interesting. Their relationship is at a level of respect that I would say Servitor and Comrade Kurz are.
Yeah.
They communicate openly with each other as if they're on the exact same level, whereas this relationship is out of respect. And I think Conrad Kurz just fears Servitor a little bit.
I mean, I don't blame him.
So what I think about this relationship is it's really cool to read about because you look at Space Marines like Sigismund, you have scenes already where Dorn chastises him and yells at him. And I feel like the relationship between the Khan and
Yasugi? I don't know.
Yasugi,
I'm totally winging it. I'm sure it's wrong.
Yasugi, I think it is more of a, if something like that happened, then it would be more along the lines of the Khan trying to understand his rationale.
Yeah.
Because they trust each other as military and like moral compasses.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, so Yasugi was around the Khan, like when Khan was still on, man, Chagathon,
Yeah,
Chagaton.
Cho'Gath,
Sure, whatever. Their home world. He like was with him, like raiding cities and stuff like that. They've been together the whole
raiding
time. Like,
cities.
I'm pretty sure he was technically actually too old to go through the Astartes process, but did it anyway and survived.
He's one of those guys.
Yeah, one of the bad motherfuckers.
It's crazy. We also had a scene in the Primarch's book where it was the Alpha Legion
Mm-hmm.
portion where it talked about Alpharius and Omegon. We had that scene at the beginning of that book where they were gathering a team, and the team that they decided to utilize was trying to keep the White Scars busy on the outer rim of the galaxy.
Yeah.
And they had to kill a few White Scars before they left. And that is actually a scene where we see the repercussions of that in this book, because they did it in secret, but the White Scars weren't necessarily fooled by this and are doing investigation into the assassination.
Yeah. So if you guys remember in the short story, Alpha Legion showed up, killed some guys, and they blew up part of this like volcano to like hide the body as well. The White Scars found the bodies finally, and they're like, "Huh, that's weird." Like, because like the way they were killed is very suspicious because they are there to kill orcs, and how they are killed is like orcs don't do that. Also, where the fuck are the orcs? Like, there's no
Yeah.
way these guys die without killing any of them.
If we remember from that book, the Alpha Legion was there in order to stall the
Mhm.
White Scars. I really have to give props to the Alpha Legion. The Alpha Legion have showed up in like 90% of the book so far.
Yeah, they have to be. And I don't even know how they do it because in every single time they show up, they have a full fucking army. I'm like, how did they get there so fast?
Not only do they have a full army, like you think about the times they showed up in other books, they're doing crazy, assassinating Gilliman. Like what? How did you get there? Well, they're the Alpha Legion, and they're a lot of times if they're not showing up with an army, they're taking a team of 5 and doing something insane.
Yeah, just doing
Um,
stupid. Oh, we just broke into this really high security thing and stole a gene code that the Emperor gave to make all the Primarchs, and we just bounced.
just one under like 2 or 3 undercover Alpha Legionnaires stealing the gene code that Chorus Corax was getting. You know, like that's all it took was 3 Alpha Legionnaires. And you look at what was happening on the Outer Rim where the White Scars are fighting the Orcs. They're infiltrating a planet that is being attacked by White Scars and swarming with Orcs, and they're able to basically prolong that war by altering the geography of
Yeah,
the area that they're fighting by pushing orc war bands into certain areas. And that's just crazy to me because the White Scars have they noted too, they're like, huh, it's taking way too long to bring this planet into compliance. And I just have to give props to the Alpha Legion. Like they're a phenomenal
they're
legion.
honestly the MVP of the heresy.
They really are. Like there's no other like yeah, it blows my mind because you think, what are the Iron Warriors doing? Oh, they're on like the Eldar homeworld, shoving things into Fulgrim's body. And you have Lorgar and Angron, and they're like, oh yeah, we're killing Ultramar. Oh, that sounds good. For a holy war to bring a chaos storm upon them. It's like, okay, well, that's a little weird. And so
You know, it'd be
Horus,
super helpful if you joined me at Terra.
yeah, Horus is over here trying to figure his shit out. And I remember in that Primarch's book, he was talking to Alpharius. He's like, I don't know if I can trust you. If I was Horse, I'd be like, Alpharius, thank you. Thank you so much. You've literally been the only person helping our cause, period.
Yeah, honestly, it doesn't make sense to me, like, at this point, like, why, like, right after Isfahan, they didn't just beeline the Terra.
Yeah, well, I think we know for a fact that they tried to get Fulcrum to go to Terra.
No, not doing it.
I gotta
I
go
need Eldar
sub some.
shoved right in my asshole.
I gotta go get tortured by my men, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink. Yeah, it's really weird. If you think about, I guess, the logistics of doing that, they would show up with this massive fighting force, but you have the Lion. The Lion would show up. Honestly, the Night Lords are also kind of OGs.
Yeah, they just keep everyone distracted.
Yeah, Comrade Curse is distracting like 6 Primarchs right now.
He really is by himself, and he almost killed them all.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, you can take Conrad. I'm really rethinking this list that we talked about in the Discord, the people you would really utilize to win the war. I'm thinking like Conrad Kurz and Alfarius are
And that's
kind
it.
of, that's all you really need. They're OGs. So, yeah, I got to hand the props to Alpha Legion. So that story came into fruition in Scars.
Mhm.
We only have 2 other instances of White Scars coming up historically in the books. I don't think either of those affect this story. One of them was an Unremembered Empire. We have a White Scar.
Oh yeah.
Don't remember his name. And the other one was in the short story with Aximon, and he got his face cut off by a White Scar.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I do remember that too.
And that is it. They mentioned that White Scar's name. So there's 2 unnamed White Scars out there, but now we finally have a book.
About damn time. But before we started the episode, you were talking to me, and they talked about how they brought in this woman from the administratum to help with logistics for the scars. And I think right now is a good point to talk about, where we have the 2 rogue ones that you just said from the other stories. That is why, because they're like, yeah, just go ahead and go do something else over there. Are they just gonna send their people out to go like fuck around somewhere else? Like, yeah, you want to go hunt? Go hunt.
Yeah, we had an interesting conversation before the podcast started because you've read a lot further in the book. And I'm about 150 pages in, and I asked him, like, who are the White Scars? I am, I have been very deeply rooted into the lore for a while now, and I still don't really know a lot about the White Scars. I think if you think about when this book came out originally, people were probably like, "Oh yeah, I completely forgot about this Legion."
Well, the funny thing is, though, that's their shtick. That's their thing. They're the forgettable ones, and they talk about that over and over. Like, everyone just kind of forgets about us, but we're really fucking good.
I'd like to think that was like a joke in the writing room when they were coming up with this. Like they just like came up with this Legion last, the White Scars, and then kept like forgetting to write a book about them.
Ah, shit.
They're like, okay, what if we just make them the forgettable ones? Wouldn't that be funny? So they had the administratum coming in to deal with the Legion's issues. And the Legion's real issues, like you said, was they just send parts of their Legion out to go do various things, and they're not exactly quick at it, but it's not because they're not efficient at killing. It's because they're just so widespread and so disorganized. Um, and I think that is kind of like an initial flaw of the White Scars. They're not what you would consider, in my opinion, a massive military force that works well with head-on battles.
Yeah, I mean, they're just like a better Corpus Corax.
Yeah, I can see that. Like they're supposed to be the leaders of the hunt, in my opinion. You know, the Corvus Corax, they're very, very good at these hit and run tactics. But I feel like these people were just born to master the hunt.
You have like characters like Narek who's like, damn, I should have been a fucking White Scar.
That would be so much cooler.
Which, hey, this is a good segue. So the prelude about this is actually how people are recruited. And I thought this was really cool. So it starts off with we have two characters, and they're literally just running. And it talks about like how like fucking much it sucks. Like you have people just dropping like flies. We have one guy left. He's fucking like basically
passing out,
running, and he like runs into an Astartes. Turns out it is a Luna Wolf. And the guy's like, oh, you did really well. Maybe one day you'll wear armor like this. And he's like obsessed with becoming a Luna Wolf. Most of his group gets assigned to the Luna Wolves. But
this was very funny to me, actually.
Their vacancies got filled. So they're like, well, you're going over to the White Scars. And he's like, what the fuck? This is bullshit. I've only ever wanted to be a Luna Wolf. And then he becomes a White Scar. And in this book, you find out that the Scars actually have a lodge. And he's a member of the lodge.
I want to backtrack a little bit on that story because there's a couple things I think is somewhat important to point out. One, these are like kids.
Yeah. Like
they're little kids. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they asked like the age, and it's like Terran years is like 12.
Yeah. So they're going through these insane physical trials, and they're basically rooting out who's going to be a Astarte. And what's funny to me is this person's destroying this obstacle course that they're doing or whatever. And then he gets to get assigned to a legion. The way it works goes, sorry, they're filled. We only took the top 5 and you were number 6. And I was like, well, I don't even want this little pussy ass bitch anymore. Number 6. Yep. Number 6.
We're the Luna Wolves. We take the best.
We don't even know who the other 5 were. I don't care about this dude's name anymore. Number 6. I think it's really strange that obviously these legions are able to pick their candidates in order. Like the Luna Wolves are coming in and taking the best 5.
Yeah, which is interesting. Like why? I mean, I don't even think he's War Master at this point because it's still the Luna Wolves.
Yeah, I mean, this is like years ago, at least, because he had to do training for like 5 or 6 years before he was able to actually become a White Scar.
Yeah.
And when this book picks up, he is a White Scar. So, yeah, this is well before the heresy. I'm pretty sure well before he was a War Master.
Still, interesting concept how they choose who goes into legions.
Especially and this was on Terra. It's important to note, too. This isn't on a different home world. This is how they train Terran-born Marines.
Yeah. Weird.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder which legion got like the last place ones.
Probably salamanders.
That's why they keep fucking dying.
Sorry, your skin is not charcoal, so we can't take you.
You know, although I think that would change with the gene seed now.
Yeah, it changed that with the gene seed. And I think a lot of it changed with their training on Nocturne. So once they got to Nocturne, their pigment would change in order to adjust to the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still. But I just find it very weird that they train like 200 people and then the Luna Wolves get to come in first. Like, I'll take the top 5. Like, like there's not another Primarch there. Like, really? What makes you think?
Yeah, Sanguinius sitting there. No.
Yeah, I also know there's a lot of legions that don't recruit from Terra, and I kind of get why. Because fucking the prick ass Horus gets to come in and take number 1 slot.
Well, that and like the discourse between like Terrans and the like home worlders, it's very obvious that there's like issues between them at most instances.
One thing I like about this book is it highlights that, but from the point of view of Terrans.
Yeah.
So it's not just, a lot of people believe, oh, there's a discourse between Terrans and the homeworlders of whatever legion they're from, because the homeworlders are just terrible to Terrans. Where in this case, it was just a Terran that hates the Legion he was assigned to.
Yep.
And therefore he's gonna rebel against the Legion or something like that.
Which makes me wonder, like, how many like Legionnaires there are that were put in legions that they did not want to be in.
I can tell you right now, Garo is one of them.
God damn it! Why the fuck am I stuck here with the sick dude?
Yeah, this guy's weird. I'm pretty sure I don't know who are Terran-born Marines, but yeah, there's I don't understand. Maybe it's just because I'm a reader. I don't think the authors have done a good enough job at making the Luna Wolves in the book seem badass as other people in the book say they are.
Yeah, they're always like, oh man, they're the best of the best. I'm like, other than like Abaddon, like what do they have left?
Yeah, I mean Abaddon's sick as shit. I think we know that.
So
But
Sevatar and everyone hates the fucking Night Lords.
Horus got stabbed by a demon and died. Sanguinius punched one in the face. Like, what are you talking about? It wasn't even like a good demon. It was like a lesser demon.
Yeah, this is true. It was a person that was turned into a demon.
Yeah, and like he got nicked. Gilliman got his throat cut by one of the exact same sword. And he was fine.
This ain't shit. Well, hell, the same sword cut Fulgrim all over the place, and it just shoved Eldar souls in his ass.
He became a giant winged snake person.
With 3 titties and a big old dick.
Yeah, like what is Horus's deal? Yeah, I don't understand the obsession with the Luna Wolves, but it seems to be everywhere. The Luna Wolves seem to be the best, so I'm like, sure, whatever. You're the best.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen them in forever either.
Then we have the alternate side where it's the training of the person from the homeworld.
Yeah, and he's like friends with Yasugi because everyone loves Yasugi. He's just this like super nice bad motherfucker. He's actually the one who is investigating the death of the White Scars.
This trainee, this person that Yasugi inducted.
Yeah, so he ends up becoming a Khan, which the Khans are the captains. And then there's neocons, which I don't know what the fuck the neocons are. They're just like the higher captain. I don't know. Maybe cons are sergeants and the neocons are captains. Something like that. I don't know.
I feel like neocon would be lesser.
No, they're higher.
Interesting.
Yep. It's hard to keep up with. There's a lot of just con names going around. They're like the con is Kaga Khan. I don't know. Sure.
Kagan, the Kagan.
Yeah.
Kagan.
I said Kaga Khan. I don't know.
I think he's called. I think they call him the Kagan.
Sure, they can call him whatever the hell they want.
But Kagan makes more sense because he's like the Khan. Kagan. Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Someone will tell us.
Someone will yell
pronounce at us. Words great.
You idiots.
That's
clearly pronounced the Karagan.
I think one thing we should talk about is the characters. There's a lot of them. I know you haven't met all of them, so any of them that you don't know, I can chime in on. Our first list, all the Primarchs, basically. We have
so many.
Horus. Thing about Horus is the Khan, he is friends with 2 Primarchs. He is friends with Horus, and he is friends with Magnus. And that is quite the tipping point for the Khan as when it comes to determining which side of the heresy he is on. Because this whole time he has been out in the middle of fucking nowhere where no one can tell him anything. But as they're coming out, he gets 2 messages. He has a message that Magnus has been killed by Leman Russ and that he's a traitor. And then they got a message saying, hey, join Russ and Dorn at Terra because Horus has turned against us. And he's like, well, this all sounds fucked.
Yeah, I think it's very important to point out, too, that maybe we talk really quickly before we do a deep dive into the character list about the nature of the Khan. He's a very secretive Primarch. Not many people know anything about him, including other Primarchs. They're a very secretive legion. So when this heresy is going down, we get this scene with Valdor and Rogel Dorn and Malkador talking about what the current situation and the Primarchs, and they list off where every single Primarch is, because at this point, finally, Dorn's like, I kind of know what's going on. And there's one that they don't know, and that's the Khan.
Mm-hmm.
And they have this conversation trying to figure out where his loyalties lie. And Rogel Dorn says, like, I have no idea. I know he's friends with Horus and Magnus.
Which doesn't look good for us.
Doesn't look good. So it's that is a very big focal point of this book, and something that I really enjoy. I kind of hate a little bit because we obviously know the outcome. We know what the decision is. But if you're a person that doesn't, I feel like this book would be crazy awesome, because this is the final Primarch that you don't know where their allegiances lie, and it's super up in the air when the book starts.
Yeah, and just like, there's a cool quote I liked in this book where it was talking about like the Primarchs and like how like people like know of them. No one's like, oh, you know, people think like Alpharius is the Alpha Legion are like the most secret. Like, no, it's the White Scars, because the Alpha Legion always stick their nose somewhere. We just fuck off. No, we don't talk to anyone. We don't give a shit. We just are fucking off all the time.
Yeah, the Alpha Legion's been in almost every book so far. They're fucking everywhere, man.
Camera's freaking out again on me. But yeah, so let's go back into the characters. A lot of these characters too are going to be seen again in Nicaea. There's a big scene about Nicaea in this book. Doesn't surprise us, considering Yasugi was sent by the Khan as his like spokesman, because he was like, I got sent somewhere else. I'm gonna go kill shit. You got my voice. Go do your thing. But we also have Olinar as well. So that's where a lot of these Primarchs meet and talk as well. It's where we have the really cool scene of them kind of like shooting the shit, like, oh, you know, like who could beat who? And Fulgur was like, I think I could take the Khan. He's like, you couldn't. It's like, I know everything about you, dude. You don't know nothing about me. I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Yeah.
And then Sanguinius says, like, do you think you could take me? And he's like, I don't know. Maybe. I'm like, ooh, I like that.
I would be interested to see that fight. I do see what you're saying when you said earlier that this book is very similar to A Thousand Suns, because it's basically the same stories that we got from A Thousand Suns with Nicaea and Olinor, but told from the Khan's point of view, which is the most secretive point of view, and the point of view I personally am most interested in.
Yeah, I don't know if I said that on air or not, but it's almost like Chris Wraight like followed the exact same formula that Graham did, just a totally different religion. Like, it's really good. Like, I have this like on par with Thousand Suns because I'm not bored at all. Every time I pick up this book, I'm really excited to read it. And like every chapter is just like different. Like, we have the stories with the Yasugi. He's so fucking broken. I can't wait in the review to talk about all the powers that he does, because he's fucking busted.
Sweet.
It's just like the story with the Khan, and I can't wait to see like how
I can't wait to see
decisions are
the
made.
Khan fight.
That's it. I'm hoping we get to see that. I haven't seen it yet in the book.
But
anyway,
do know real quick about the Khan fighting. There is a discussion that I've read about where the Khan talks, because the Khan, we discussed how Magnus, the Khan, and Sanguinius were responsible for the creation of the Librarius. They viewed it as very important. And Magnus is talking to the Khan about how they needed, as, you know, unique individuals, as psychers, to stick together. And the Khan's like, well, yeah, but I'm not a psycher. And Magnus is like, are you sure about that?
Yeah, I'm curious what his ability is.
Keep an eye out, because we've talked about this before on the podcast, that each Primarch has psychic potential. Like Lehman Russ with his psychic scream. We've seen this. Jagatai has a really badass one.
This is just Servitars on steroids.
No. It's really badass.
All right, I'm pumped for that. Anyway, we'll go down the list more. We have Lehman Russ. So we have a story at several chapters, actually, of Lehman Russ and the Space Wolves. After Prospero, they are, if you haven't caught up yet, they fucked up Magnus and Prospero. they're leaving, and they get attacked by the Alpha Legion.
This is a direct continuation of Prospero Burns.
Mm-hmm. It's really cool. We have Bjorn back.
Bjorn.
Bear, whatever you want to call him. He's a badass. Can't wait to read more about him. Keep going down the list. We have Rogal Dorn. So far, it's just been in flashbacks and stuff. Sanguinius, Nakia and Olenor, Magnus. Now, this one's interesting. And I don't know if he gets seen other than Nakia. He might be. I don't know.
He's in Olenor.
That too. But I mean, like, later on. We'll see.
Yeah.
Mortarion.
Yeah, because the last we left with Magnus at the end of Thousand Suns, everyone thinks he's dead, but we know he's not.
Yeah, I mean, he was talking to what's his Lorgar and Horus, just like dicking around with him.
It's true.
Yep. So we have Mortarion, Fulgrim, Alfarius. Mortarion and Fulgrim are at Nakia as well. Alfarius I haven't seen yet, so curious.
Yes, you have.
I mean, they're all Alfarius.
They're all Alfarius, man. I've seen Alfarius like 20 times in this book. Would it be so funny if like he never actually shows up and they just have Alfarius in the credits because they're like, maybe he might have been there.
You should just be in every single one.
Always write Alfarius in your cast list just to confuse the readers. It'd be so funny if like Alfarius never shows up in the last book, but he's in the cast list and everyone's just like, ooh, what is happening? Like, who might Alfarius be?
They could do a lot of like fucky shit with that for sure.
They really could.
So now we're gonna go to the White Scars. We have Hasik Noyan Khan. So he is like, I think he is the captain over the kid who we were talking about who became the Khan. He is Shaban, who is the brother, who's part of the Brotherhood of the Storm. I think he's over them.
Storm.
We have Jimulon, who I am not sure of who the hell that one is.
Mm-hmm.
Kinza, he is kind of like the right hand to the administrative chick who comes on. He's like part of like that type of stuff, but he is an Astartes. Shiban was the kid that we talked about earlier. Sangjai, apothecary.
He's the apothecary that examined the bodies of the dead White Scars that were killed by the Alpha Legion.
Yep. We have Torgun Khan. He is the other kid, I think.
The one that came from Terra. Yep. This is the one that came from Terra, is part of the Lodge. Some weird stuff going on there. Kibo Khan.
I don't remember. He might also be a Lodge member. And Haji, who I also do not remember. And then we have Yasugi. He is a bad motherfucker. Also, their sectors are called Storm Seers.
Which is sick as shit.
Yeah. They do some really cool shit. Lushan. He is the commander of a ship that is carrying Yasugi. Then we have our Space Wolves. Gunnar Gunahilt.
No, it's definitely Gunnar Gunhill.
That's it.
I love Space Wolf names.
Man, there's so many Space Wolf names for like nerds. I don't even like recognize half of these. Agve. Sure.
Yeah, so Gunnar Gunhill and Agve are just, they're Jarls, so they're like really important people in the Space Wolves. You see them very briefly. Basically, you get a scene of Lehman Russ sitting there realizing, okay, we just killed Magnus, but Horus has rebelled, and he kind of goaded me into doing this, and I feel like a damn fool. And yeah, kind of. And the Jarls are in that meeting trying to discuss what their next move is. Where they're gonna
yeah,
go.
you kind of fucked up, dude. This is a bad idea. We have Bjorn, the one-handed.
The one-handed. We're getting closer and closer to his true title.
Yes, and every time he sees a Dread Knight, he's like, man, that would suck.
Yes.
Foreshadowing. Godsmote, who we've seen before, I'm pretty sure.
Good to see Godsmote. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Godsmote was the character all the way back in Prospero Burns that was a human originally that saved the main character's life.
Yeah, he was a bad bitch.
He is pretty fucking sick. So it's cool to see him return. The others are just people that are part of their party that we've
Yep.
never seen before.
They're part of the pack. Bjorn's pack.
I'm a little upset we didn't get to see the Naveed. Not Naveed. It wasn't Naveed. Casper
Casper
Hauser.
Hauser. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
we
is
don't
kind
see
of
him in this
disappointing.
book.
Although, I mean, he's part of the spirits now or whatever. I don't know. Walking into the forest, something like that.
Oh, did he die?
I don't think he died. I think they like froze him or some shit.
Okay, that makes sense.
Next is Bjorn Rockaborn. Don't recognize him at all. He's a commander of one of the ships.
Yeah.
Don't know if I recognize that ship.
Okay.
Shattered Legions. We also have to have them. We have Zavin.
We have Shattered Legions in this book?
We do. So Zavin is a salamander.
We have a salamander.
He's pretty cool. He's very salamander-esque. He's kind of like the glue that's keeping the team together. We have Bjorn Henrikos. He is the Iron Hand. He makes some cool shit. He makes this like things on his shoulder pads that like blocks like waves, like radio waves, like from like seeing like that he's there. It's really cool.
$20 says the salamander dies by the end of the book.
I wouldn't be surprised. We have some word bears, of course, because we can't have a book without word bears.
Oh man, are you kidding? I had not read this full cast list, and now I'm looking at the Shattered Legions and Ward Bears. I'm like, why? I thought we were past the halfway point. Can't we put the Shattered Legions and Ward Bears down for a minute?
Nah, man, you always have to have word bears. So we have Kal Zadeh. He is just like the commander of the ship. He sucks. Ledek Ravel. Characters. Ledek is around for a little bit. Don't know what happens to his story. Now the Imperials. We have Malkador, the Sigillite, Valdor.
They come into the scene that I was describing, and I'm
Yeah,
sure they'll have
pretty
other
much
things as well.
every character that was just mentioned in this book is just on this list. So a lot of them don't have very like long parts. Jin Suzu, she is the woman who was brought in as like the administrator. She is like a logistan. Logistan?
Logistin.
Logistan.
Oh my gosh. Why did you have to say that? Now we both look like that.
Man, it's definitely one of those words, right?
Logistician. All right.
Either way, she is just there to kind of like bring the ships together, allocate resources to where they need to go.
No, that's not true. I thought that was Ilya.
They call her Zoo all the time. No, Ilya is... I don't know who the fuck Ilya is. Oh, wait, yeah. So Giant Zoo is the astropath. Ilya is the logistician. So those are all the characters. A lot of them you see for 10 seconds. Others are on the whole story. There's a lot of characters in this book, but I think the best thing about it is it's not... Yes, there are several new characters, but like all the Primarchs we know already. Like we know Bjorn, we know most of the Space Wolves. I don't know. It's cool.
I'm excited. Okay, so what I am hoping from this book, because I have not read a lot of it. Obviously, there's some division within the White Scars. We know, kind of going in the first couple chapters, that there is a lodge. There are some White Scars that are super pro Horus. They want to do some weird things with Horus. They're all about Horus for some reason. We don't know why, but that's a thing. We know that Jakatai Khan is trying to make an important decision. What I'm hoping we see is once Jakatai Khan makes that decision, the White Scars follow him. Maybe with a little bit of fight, not too much, just a little bit. I don't want to see another
like purging.
Not purging. What are the Dark Angels? The bad half of the Legion. What are they called?
The Fallen?
The Fallen. Yeah, I don't want to see another Fallen situation where you have like half good White Scars, half bad White Scars.
Well, I don't even think, like, honestly, their lodges aren't that big.
Yeah. From what I saw, the lodge was like 3 people.
Yeah, I mean, it gets bigger, but it's not like anything insane. So It's very, very interesting how some of them are so really like wanting to be a part of Horus's side, and apparently, like they definitely know like the truth with Horus. I think.
I wonder how they get that information. You know,
Well, I don't know if
unless
they
it's some
showed it in
word
real.
bear shit.
There's a one of the lodge meetings. There's like this like fucking like it's like I'm imagining like a pillar, and they ask it questions and just like words pop up. It's like a fucking like a magic 8 ball that they're just like shaking. Like, should we like rebel against the Khan? Please ask again later. Okay, yeah.
Are you telling me that this is like the episode of SpongeBob where they find the magic conch?
Kind of.
Magic conch, what shall we do? Nothing. Magic conch has spoken.
That's honestly kind of how it is. It's really ridiculous. Like they are asking, like, oh, like when can like we do things? And it's like, in time, you will be set free. Oh, wow! I can't wait.
Wow, this thing is so smart.
It's so fucking ridiculous.
I am always amazed with how stupid some of these people are that follow like the demons or the warp or even like Eldar. Like we talked about the conversation between John and Eldrad,
Yeah.
right? And it's the exact same thing where it's like, hey, what do I need to do? You will know when you know. Like, shut
Why
the
won't you
fuck
just
up.
tell me what I need to do?
Yeah, just really annoying stuff. And I feel like all the chaos stuff is like that. Like I can't imagine being a word bear. That would be so frustrating. Because they're the type of
That's
people
why
that'll be
Direct
like,
left. I'm just like, man, this shit's too much.
he's sitting there in the mess hall. Oh, great chaos lords. Shall I eat fish or chicken for dinner? They're just they
Which of these
respond.
is the holiest?
They respond. Only the true believer sees the way. I'm just like, God,
Ah, yes, I shall eat both.
aren't they geniuses? Aren't they so smart? They don't know anything.
Fucking word bears. And there's the one Alpha Legionnaire, like, man, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why am I here? This is the worst mission I could get between this and the fucking Night Lords.
I would love to petition if any of the editors, which I know 100% there's none that are watching this podcast, if you could please, in all of the books going forward, put Alfarius in the cast list.
That would be so fun. Like even the 40K bucks.
Yeah, yeah, for no reason, just put it in there because I would love to see
The
all of
conspiracy theories.
the
Oh
crazy
my god.
theories. Maybe not with all of them, but like every once in a while, put like an Alfarius, like put Alfarius in the last book of the Siege series and never have him pop up. And then they'll be like, what if Sanguinius was Alfarius the whole time?
Or even like if you just like retcon like some books and then just like release it only with a character sheet different. Think about like the minds that would be blown to just shit people would come up with.
You just choose one book. You re-release the entire Horus Heresy series saying, we've made edits. Just change one book. What book would like you think shit would just go crazy in if Alfarius was in the cast list?
Are we just doing like strictly Horus Heresy?
Yeah, like if you were to re-release Horus Heresy, the exact same, but one book had Alfarius in the cast list and he never showed up, which book would that be?
Ooh. I think I have two. I think Horus Rising.
Yep. The first one.
Yeah.
Just throw Alfarius somewhere in Horus Rising, and you're like,
Honestly, if like they like put in Alferis and then just like cut out the end where it revealed Erebus was the one who stole the blade, like, that'd be crazy.
But then, like, that's the point, though. You even have Erebus doing the blade, but since
Well,
Alfarius is in
true.
the
It is.
cast
It
list, you're
could be.
sitting there
Yeah.
wondering, well, who is he?
Is
He's
that
one
really
of these
Erebus?
characters. Was Alfarius the whole time Sejuanis?
Yeah. Or like was he like one of like the intersex people? Maybe.
Is Alfarius Loken? Is Loken Alpha Legion?
Ooh. I think
I
the
would
other
love.
one that would be good in would be Thousand Suns.
This is what you'd have to do. This is what the writers would have to do. They would have to put Alfarius in. Let's say they did Horse Rising, right? And they would have to take all those characters that are in Horse Rising, and any other book they showed up in, they would have to put Alfarius in. Because then, as that continues on, you're sitting there like, oh my god, Loken is Alfarius, but it could be Axamon. Could Abaddon be Alfarius?
It's like actually like one of like the random like sergeants.
Yeah, just like a random dude that shows up all the time. The dude that gets assassinated in
in Nemesis.
in Nemesis that no one really remembered.
That would be a very Alfarius move.
Yeah, just get assassinated. Yeah, I think that would be good. Yeah, Thousand Suns would be a very good one. I think Prospero Burns would almost be better.
Yeah. Maybe like No Fear.
Yeah, that would be an issue. Unremembered Empire, but there is already Alpha Legion.
Yeah. Honestly, like either like First Heretic or Betrayer. Like either one of those.
You put some Alfarius in First Heretic and shit goes a little wild. Turns out to just be like some random dude that got turned into some Gal Vorback sitting there all the time like, fuck.
Man, I really fucked this up so bad.
Yeah.
This is not how this mission was supposed to go at all. Or it's just a janitor.
Just a janitor. Just like walks by all these random books that have Alfarius. He just like randomly observe these people. You're like, that might be Alfarius.
You look very suspicious. Oh, not me. I'm just cleaning the piss off the wall. Don't mind me.
I would love to see Alfarius go in like some sort of stupid short story where it's like that one where the lion and Conrad Kurz met on that planet and had that crazy fight. There's only like 6 characters. One of them is Alfarius.
I can get behind it.
Yeah. I think that does it for Scars.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about, but there's also, once you've read it, it'll be a lot easier to talk about more. Like the difference in Ikea, I think. Yasugi is just a character. He just has some really cool broken shit. I can't wait to talk about him.
Do we get some cool stuff about Ikea? Some answers revealed to us?
So I'm not entirely sure yet.
Okay.
Right now, they've just gone through Olenor, and they keep bringing up Ikea. So I'm assuming we get something more from Ikea. Although there's an interesting conversation that I can fill in like a minute here. Yasugi is talking about Ikea. It's like the reason the librarians lost is because Magnus went over the top. Like if Magnus never talked, we would have been fine.
Yeah, because Magnus lied. You remember when Magnus told that story, but he changed the ending of it.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you that. Because at the end you were convinced of the Emperor. You weren't going to fool him. It's that hubris.
Yeah, well, they talked about like how the Librarius was formed. And they talked about how like both Sanguinius and the Count like we have to have rules. And Magnus was like, no, but he finally like gave in so that it could happen. But just like in Ikea, Magnus goes over the rules every time. And if he just would stay in line, like it would have been fine.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, wouldn't have taken much. Magnus ruined it for everyone. And then look, he got his fucking back broken.
Did everything wrong.
Amen, brother. So that's it for our preview of Scars. Next week we'll be reviewing it. It'll be a lot more fun, a lot more shit to talk about. As always, check out the battle report. I guess it's not an always thing, but you should check it out. Let us know how we can improve. There's going to be more coming in the future. We're going to have, eventually we'll have Thousand Suns painted. We'll have Thousand Suns Grey Knights. Death Guard. Don't have to build up those armies. A lot of things coming, and they're all going to be good, but it can only get better with your help. Let us know. Email us at theheresiolodge@gmail.com. You can join the Discord. It is pinned to our Twitter @heresylodge. If you feel like contributing to the podcast, leave us a tip. They are enabled on the Twitter. If you're on YouTube, please like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when new things drop. We will continue our beginner series. I definitely want to do that. I think it will be something great. And I think that's something we could do with smaller armies just so we can kind of go through all the steps. There'll be a lot of things coming. Look forward to it. And we'll be back next week, guys, with our review. Have a good one.